Now, Medaki api, Tashunkwe Gokia, Amanchipi, Naha, Iyuha, Chante, Wastea Nape, Trees api. Kuichasha, Oyanke, Awati, Ake, Midake pi, Lila, Tayan, Hielo. Um, Hello, my relatives. My name is Kansas Middletent. My Lakota name is Crazy Bronc Rider. And today I'm just happy to be with you guys virtually to be able to share a quick, short message with you guys. Um, and the things I want to talk about today are things that we have within us, the things and challenges that we face every day. We have skills within us, and they just needed to be developed. Like anything, it takes practice. One of my skills that I get to be able to do is be able to share with people like you, young people, families, uh, just anybody really that's willing to listen. I get to travel the country and work with our youth across the Osheti Shakowin, across North Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, and New Mexico and Arizona. So I'm very fortunate to not only speak with youth, but actually to work with them hands-on to help develop leadership skills, perseverance, resiliency, things that we often don't realize we can get better at. And it's nothing that I'm really gonna teach you that's special. It's just that I want to show you how special you truly are, because everything we need is already within us. All the skills we need, all the strength we need, it's all within us. All the tools we need are right there. We have the ability to learn, to adapt, to grow. We've been survivors for so long, and now we just need to thrive. We need to be able to sharpen those skills from our abilities, our talents, and be able to use them and together collectively to move forward. So, some of my messages, and the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is what is being a warrior. And now we have to be modern day warriors. Traditionally and historically, we've known that our people are warriors. It's who we are, it's who we've been, and it's the reason why we're here today. And because that warrior mindset, that warrior heart. But when I want to speak about warriors and share who we are as individuals and people, and I talk about being a warrior, I don't talk about what we usually think of as what a warrior is. Most times people think that a warrior is a fighting man, that he's a killer, that he goes to war and he battles. That's true, but that's only part of it. Being a warrior traditionally and historically to us, and it's comes from one of my most famous and one of the most famous quotes that I love from Sitting Bull. A warrior is not a fighting man. A warrior is a protector, a provider, and a warrior is willing to sacrifice his own life for the betterment of his family, his people, and the tribe collectively. So that's what truly makes a warrior. And times were different back then. I don't have to get into all that, but now we have to be modern day warriors. We don't have to be fighters, but we can be protectors still. We can be providers. We can fight with our minds and our knowledge and our skills to move forward for our people, for our families. And we all have that within us. We all have the DNA and the blood of our ancestors that live within us. And that's powerful. A lot of prophecies come to light when I think of our youth and the seventh generation and how much we move forward. You guys are doing all that. So I always love to share what a modern day warrior is to me, and we're all warriors. Our we us, they're warriors, not just our men anymore. And so you have to think of that. When I think of our warrior people, I like to share that and ask what a warrior is, because another thing I like to talk about is people always recognize and point out the obvious in our communities, in our families, within our people and our tribe. I can always talk about the hardships. I can tell you about the problems we face. But I don't have to get into that. We all know what those things are. A lot of people, they want to hang on to the trauma, and it's real. I don't ever want our people or anybody to dismiss that, because what we endured historically, what our grandparents endured, what our ancestors endured is real. It's the realities of why we are the way we are. But I want to tell people and remind people that yes, we do have intergenerational trauma. It's real. We see it in our families every single day, and it's hard. A lot of us lived through it. That's why I say we're modern day warriors, because we have to overcome obstacles every single day in our lives. So when I think of modern day warriors, and I can think of intergenerational trauma and the hardships our people face, that's easy. That's easy mindset to get caught up in and to feel bad about yourself and to have a scapegoat to say, this is why, this is the reason. But in reality, I want us to be able to look and think of as warriors that our people, our ancestors, our grandmas and grandpas, our moms and dads hung on to the beautiful things of our culture, our songs, dancing, our medicines, our teachings, our stories, our way of life in the ways that they could. And if they thought of only trauma, they would have let all those go. They would have conformed and they would have just been people, not Lakota people, not indigenous people, not native people. And so they hung on to our ways of life. They hung on to our kinships, our values. They hung on to our family systems because that's what made us Lakota, was those important things. And as hard as it was, they didn't just think of intergenerational trauma. They thought of intergenerational strength. They thought of all that courage and bravery they embraced, our values in the most hardest times, in the most difficult times, in the worst of realities. They hung on to all that. So when you think back on the hardships that we face today, they're real. They stem from our hardships that our grandparents faced. But then I want you to be able to put those walls down, those barriers down, and think of the resiliency that our people had. Think of the courage and bravery they had. Think of the love and generosity they had. Think of everything they had so that we can be here today. So we can have our way of life and we can hear our stories. For me, I always think that that's why we're here, because of them. And that's not intergenerational trauma. That's intergenerational strength. That's what gives us the warrior spirit. That's who you are and that's who we are. And it's a beautiful thing. One of the stories I like to associate with intergenerational trauma or intergenerational strength is the turtle warrior story. And this is a story, it's not really too traditional. It's more of a modern kind of thing, but it was a story that was shared to me as a young person. Um, you know, we all overcome a lot of obstacles and barriers, and we're all given choices in life. We have leadership skills and qualities within us. And the most powerful thing, and the reason why we all get a little defiant and we all want to go our own way and do our own things, is because we want that leadership to be ourselves. We want to pick and choose and be who we want to be, not who people tell us to be. And that's when I tell youth and tell people, that's how I know we all have leadership skills, right? And then we move forward in life. You get titles, you get authority, you get power, you get all these certain things, because leadership comes in different levels. There are different levels of leadership. Some people are leaders of their family. Some people are leaders of small businesses and corporations. Some people are leaders of big organizations. Some people are leaders of our country, leaders of our sovereign nations. Some people are world leaders. And so you think of all that, leadership just comes in levels. But we're all leaders of our own lives. We all have the ability to make our own choices and to fulfill our own actions and to live with the consequences of those. This story I want to tell is a turtle warrior story. I have a tattoo. You can't see it right now, but it's right here on my forearm. And I got it because this story means a lot to me. When I was growing up, I was always deemed kind of the leader because I always wanted to do the right thing. I wanted to make my grandmother proud. I wanted to make my parents happy. I just wanted to be that person. I wanted to do well in school, excel in sports. And so that kind of deemed me a leader. I was always given that leadership title of, hey, you're a leader. And when I was young, I never wanted it. And fast forward, upbringing, I was in those roles. When I finally got older, I found myself still in those roles. I found myself wanting to create change within my community, to speak up about our problems, try to do the things that I thought were needed in our community for our youth to help save a generation of my friends and a generation below us and after, because I know the hardships, right? And so I start working with the school, I start volunteering, I start doing all these different things. And some people embraced it as great leadership roles, and some people were threatened and such. And lateral oppression amongst our people was hard. You know, lateral oppression is also known as crabs in the bucket. And so when I stepped into the leadership role like that, you know, it was hard. People would judge you, people would talk about your mistakes, people would just want to bring up the most negative things about you to try to dismiss you, to try to, you know, degrade your value, and just undermine you, you know, and that's what the traumatic things do to our people. Remember, we're warriors, we overcome, right? And anyways, I had an elder tell me one day, because I kind of wanted to give up my leadership role. And this elder, they told me, they said, you know, I've always called you a turtle warrior all throughout the time I've known you, since you was just a little boy, even until now. But I never really told you why I called you a turtle warrior. I called you a turtle warrior because I knew everything you went through, knew all the things, and I know what leadership does. I called you a turtle warrior because there's going to be a point in your life that when this moment comes, I don't want you to give up, because who wins the race? It's like, what? Tortoise or the hare? Who wins the race? And you're like, the turtle, right? But our turtle are, they're warriors. They're powerful. You said the beautiful thing about the turtle is that when they're getting beaten on by their people, or their journey becomes hard, or they need to take a break and rest, or, you know, all these things that just we don't know about, these battles of people within, the battles we face every day within ourselves, they become heavy. And she said, whenever that time happens and you're in this moment in your life, I don't want you to quit, but I want you to know that it's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to take a break, and it's okay to stop. It's okay to make sure that you're okay, because if you're not okay, you're not going to be okay to help other people. And great leaders, they help people, right? You can't pour from a half full cup, otherwise you go empty. And so she told me, she said, you know, the beautiful thing about turtles, they have a shell. When things get hard for them, or they feel threatened, or they feel beaten on, or they feel like they just need to take a break and rest, they tuck in their arms and legs and their tail, and they tuck in their head, rest. If people are beating on them, they let them beat on them, and they never can break that shell. And when people get tired of beating on you and they realize, man, this person, why am I beating on them? All this person was doing was trying to help. All they wanted was the goodness. And sometimes they might realize, if you're doing an event, if you're volunteering and you don't do that anymore, they're going to say, how come this isn't happening? Oh, yeah, because man, we're too hard on Kansas. We're too hard on such and such. And they just needed to stop. Man, now our kids don't have this. Now our community don't have this. Boom, big picture, light bulb moment. And they'll beat on you till they realize that they just beat themselves. And instead of hating you, they'll embrace you, and they'll start loving you, and you'll start getting your confidence back, and you'll start feeling like, okay, yes, this is needed. They see what I see. Kids love it. It's making an impact. I'm making an impact. And while you're in there, you can take care of yourself, and you can make new ideas and new plans, and you can grow, and you can rest, and you can move forward even in there. And when you're ready, you can finally poke your tail out, poke your head, your arms and legs, and you can finally start to move forward in life. And that's what we call perseverance. That's what we call strength. That is the resiliency that our people have. That's the strength in not just our abilities, but the teachings that our ancestors carried with all the animals around us. We can all embrace being a turtle, we can all embrace being a warrior, and we can make them come together in a beautiful way so that we can know we can be powerful warriors with a powerful voice and a powerful purpose that we're going to help. We're going to make sure I'm the best me so I can be the best me for my people. How that works. You can do it on your own time, in your own terms, in your own turtle race. Move forward. That's the strength that we have. That's the abilities that we have. That's the leadership qualities that we have. And I always like to say, because most of us come from the res, that's the strength that we have as Indigenous people. That's the so anyways, what I was saying was for most of us that live on the res, I like to use the term that we're resilient, really emphasize the Z because like I said, we're Lakota, we're res kids. We have all these superpowers and abilities. We have all these skills. We're survivors, we're fighters, we're warriors. We have all these great abilities and teachings. We just got to look within ourselves and use those in a good way to help ourselves. I share that story. I share this modern day warrior because I want to tell you young people that most people don't tell us. They tell us the good things of life. They tell us to set goals, to pursue our dreams, but they don't tell us that oftentimes that life is hard. That's why I speak of leadership, of strength, of courage, of perseverance, of resiliency, because life is hard. Pursuing your dreams and goals is hard. Doing the right things are easy, but they get hard at the same time. We're warriors and we can get through all the hard things in our life. Life won't be easy, but life will be worth it. And it always is. How this because we have the leadership skills to set our dreams and goals, move forward in life, to have a purpose for ourselves, and then which will be able to give back to our people, but most importantly, our families. We have all that strength in us. So remember, when life gets hard, you need to remember who you are, remember the values and teachings that we have. Remember that you are a warrior. Remember that you're a turtle warrior and you can do all things. You can move forward in life. And when life is beating you up, remember to slow down, protect yourself, to come out when you're ready. That's something that it'll teach us. Life is hard, but as warriors, we're harder, right? Tougher, stronger, have great families, great warrior bloodline within us. Let's make our ancestors proud, our grandparents, our parents, tribe, and our families. But most importantly, let's make ourselves proud. I really enjoy this time to share this message with you. I thank you all for listening to me, for being respectful. I hope you were. But overall, everybody that's in attendance, I love that you have these kind of nights to bring your families together, to bring your schools together, your young people, because power of storytelling. Storytelling heals. Storytelling connects. Storytelling is a beautiful gift as well. Remember to tell your own story, to use your voice, and to just share love, positivity in a good way. Be a good relative, my people. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you gained something from this. thank you once again for this space. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. And I look forward to meeting you all, hopefully in person. And I'd love to come visit sometime soon. Keep working hard, keep being shooting stars, pursuing your dreams and goals, and just remember, life is everything you make it. Okay, thank you.